everyone. I'm Robin Leon with Au Pair in America, and I'm here with Jenny, one of our host moms from California. Jenny, we are so excited to talk with you about your experience hosting an au pair. Would you mind to take a minute and just introduce yourself? Where are you from? How many kiddos do you have?
Yeah.
And what kind of work do you do?
Yeah, my name's Jenny. I live outside of Sacramento, California. I have two kiddos. They're 4.5-year-old twins. And I started with the program about 2 years ago.
I love hearing about families with multiples who enjoy the program. I know your needs can be a
Mhm.
little bit different than just your everyday run-of-the-mill family. So we appreciate you being a part of the Au Pair in America program. Okay, so would you recommend the Au Pair program to other parents? And if so, why?
I would recommend the au pair program to other parents. My current au pair is just coming up on her 2 years. She's extended with us. We are all so sad to see her go, but we are bringing in another au pair. Yeah, I would recommend the program so strongly. It's been amazing for us. I want anyone who's caring for my children, I want to feel like they're part of my family. It just creates a different environment, a different warmth and relationship and understanding about what's happening during the day and setting expectations together for how for what the children's day looks like and how we manage behavior issues to great times and what works. I mean, there's just the kind of components of the program. There's the additional flexibility. I am a solo parent. If I need a little extra time here or there, obviously we work ahead of time to do that, but ultimately it's great to have somebody here and feel like part of a family relationship and caring for the children.
I love that. We love hearing about au pairs, really feeling like a member of the family, the flexibility you touched on, as well as that the au pair lives with you. So he or she is ready to
Mhm.
go when you are, which I know is helpful for
Yeah.
families. We always say that cultural exchange is the beating heart of the au pair program. I would love if you could talk a little bit about how you balance your au pair's desires to experience the US with
Mhm.
your needs as a family and kind of thread that needle of
Mhm.
cultural exchange.
Well, first, I'll start with the cultural exchange piece. My au pair is from the Czech Republic, and it's so funny. We now, the word for goat in Czech is koza. We now don't call goats goats, we call them kozas. Like it's this word that is now just embedded in our brains, and it's the actual word. And it's cute. My son will use some Czech words here and there, please and thank you, and some random words like pine cone and dandelion when we know these words. But don't ask us to say, anything probably very impactful or useful if we were traveling there. And she also has shared her food with us. Her schnitzel we are adoring fans of and beg her for routinely. And so we have fun like that. And I also learned that they put whipped cream on meat. That one was a little weird for me, but
Wow.
I mean, we were going for it, but
How
that one was out there.
interesting.
Yes, that was very interesting. And in fact, her mom got to visit for a week, and we were so thrilled. And she stayed with us, and she didn't have no much English, but we all worked through it. And one of my sons cuddled up to her faster even than the au pair and decided
Oh,
that she was his. And really, we didn't want her to go. And again, it just feels like extended family.
I
So it's
love that.
wonderful. And, at the right time, we're looking forward to visiting with her as well and having her back to visit with us.
Love
So,
those long-term relationships and how
mhm,
extended family
yeah.
becomes and travels and visits and
Mhm.
relationships for years to come. That's so beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. And then how we balance the cultural exchange. I mean, I take it so seriously. Just background is when I was in high school, I got to go to Germany as an exchange student. I've traveled a lot internationally for work prior to having my boys. I so value that experience for her. But obviously I've got a lot on my plate and need her help as well. What her time off is her time off. I don't edge into that. I respect that if we've made commitments that she comes to me and says, "Hey, I'd like to." She doesn't work weekends, but she will just clear with me, "Hey, I'm going to go so and so to this national park, or I'm going to go explore Washington State this weekend. Is that okay?" I'm like, "Absolutely." And then we hold it and I don't encroach on it. Make sure that she feels open during the week when she is working, like when she's off her off time, that she can go do what she wants. She has her vacations and she's used her time, her education credit time. She has used that to travel. She went to Hawaii and did the photo class there, which is something, she always wanted to do. And so
Wow.
just try to support. The other piece, and I'm fortunate, I do have a dedicated car for the au pair, and I have shared with her that she can put up to 5,000 of her personal miles on the car a year so that she feels very comfortable traveling. Where we are in Northern California, we're a couple hours from Tahoe, a couple hours from San Francisco, day trips to lots of national parks. And I didn't want either of us to feel like, her to feel like, oh, am I using the car too much? Or me to feel like, oh, yeah, is she using the car too much? So just kind of set an arbitrary boundary up front, but just to make us both feel comfortable
Yeah.
that, hey, so if she took a road trip all the way to the East Coast and back, I'd be like, well, that was your fun for the year. Obviously, she's not going to do that. And obviously, it's a very arbitrary, no one's really tracking miles, but it just gave us a chance to both feel comfortable that she could go use the car. And I do prioritize that because I want her to get out and have fun. And the more she connects and have fun, the better she is. The
Of
happier she
course.
is at home, the more rested she is, the more engaged she is as well. I'll say the last piece is one of my sons, 4 weeks to the day after she arrived, actually had a horrible accident. Had nothing to do with her. He has a severe brain injury,
Oh my gosh.
severe medical needs now, and she stayed with us. When she stayed, and she has been, sorry, just an amazing, amazing support and beacon of consistency for my other son, who
Wow.
essentially lost his twin brother in most of the important ways. As part of this, we now travel quite a bit for my injured son for his medical care, medical
Sure.
therapy. And she has, and she of course travels with us. I mean, she's so integral to everything. And so she's traveled to New Orleans for a couple months with us, to Phoenix for a week. Excuse me. And she's actually traveled to Mexico on two separate occasions for a month as we pursued some experimental treatments. We just got back actually.
Wow.
And so her Spanish is better than ours. And so she helps us out with the Spanish as well. We appreciate that too. But again,
Wow.
and there's been some other travel, but so
She sounds like an
we're not
amazing
necessarily
young
taking vacations
person.
at this point.
And gosh, what
Yeah,
a special relationship you
she's
formed
incredible.
through these challenges. My goodness. Going back to the
Yeah.
car of it all, I heard you saying kind of open and honest communication, right? Like that seems
Mm,
to be such a huge part of a successful relationship between an au pair and a host family. And it sounds like you really
mhm.
made that a priority from the start. So kudos to you.
Yeah, we do.
Oh,
Absolutely. And then again, as I said, obviously we've had this accident, and my son, who is not injured though, has a lot of trauma and has a therapist. And my au pair and myself and the therapist, we sit down and we work together for how to help him and how to be
wow,
consistent in our approach. And she'll talk to the therapist about what can she do and what's going on, and what we can try to do best to help him as well.
man.
Mhm.
That is
Mhm.
just, we often say that the au pair feels like a big sister and again, a member of the
Mhm.
family, but gosh, what a
Yeah.
testament to the dedication of this young person. My
She,
goodness.
yeah, she is so special.
Well, shifting gears a little bit,
Yeah.
I know you touched on this previously, but can you talk about what childcare costs are like in
Mhm.
California currently?
Yeah, I mean they're very expensive, particularly having twins, young
Sure.
ones. Like I started with the au pair program when they were 2.5. Full-time care at that point, I can't even remember. It was probably $1,000 a week, maybe more. I switched to a half-day program with the boys by the time the au pair started, so it was
Okay.
closer. I don't know, somewhere between probably 12 to 1,400 a month. With the au pair helping pretty much from lunchtime on. And of course, one is not in childcare right now, and then the other one, he's continued on a half day program. Actually, switched to the public schools. There was a fee, that was a special program, but
Sure.
again, half day, 4 or 5 days a week. So he
Hmm.
will be going to public TK
Okay.
starting in a few weeks. Then I'll have the au pair go with that. But I'd say full-time infant care for the two kiddos is at least as much as the au pair program, if not more.
If you can find it, right? I would love to hear
Oh,
if
yeah.
you like your own experience or in talking to friends,
Yeah.
neighbors, etc. Are there wait lists for childcare programs in your area?
Yes, there's huge
Okay.
wait lists. Even though I'm in healthcare now, I started my career for the first two-thirds of my career in corporate childcare. I know very well the lack of high quality childcare that is out there. It's almost non-existent. And then also the affordability issues, and availability issues. So as soon as I knew I was pregnant, I, started searching and found the one program in the area, one center that I would consider using. Got on the wait list. No, it's so hard with two babies, but they're like, nope, it's going to happen. You're going to get in. And I had an extensive maternity leave, so I had time. And then, of course, what happens is the other parents with children in the center have babies and they get to go to the top of the wait
Yep.
list, of course, because you want to keep the family in there. I totally get it. But there was a run of babies. So suddenly I had no childcare.
Oh
And
gosh.
I did need to go back to work. And I hired a nanny, and I was phasing back to work, and I hired a nanny. And after 3 weeks, she quit because it was too hard, the babies, and she was still only part-time at that point. Fortunately, right then COVID hit, everything shut down.
Jenny.
And the center did eventually, fairly quickly operating again as protocols got put into place. But at
Sure.
that point, their baby room had openings.
Okay.
And so I need to be opportunistic in COVID, but at literally the day my nanny was like, I can't do this, the center called and said, well, we have two spots if you want. And obviously it was such a hard decision with
Sure.
COVID and group care, what that meant. I was comfortable with their protocols, and the kids went to the center. And I think I knew of the au pair program, but I kind of had it in the back of my mind for when they were a little older.
I see.
And again, actually, maybe do a bro pair as they got a little older. And again, being a solo parent, mom family, thought that would be kind of a good mix. But I hadn't really thought about the au pair program at that point. So I did that. And then because I just found, they were sick all the time. And my parents helped out quite a bit, but they were, in flexible job. But
Sure.
there was a lot, the cost, just some of the logistics factors, having them just gone all day, the center.
Hmm.
And just over time, my parents had some things going on that they were going to be less available to support with, again, the illnesses. I think literally in the first 15 months, I counted, there was the longest both boys had been in childcare because they were healthy was 9 days, 9 day run. That's the most I had.
Do
So,
hear we do hear from parents
yeah.
quite often that one of the challenges of center-based care is,
Mhm.
especially for the little guys, they get
Yeah.
sick all the
All the
time.
time.
And as you mentioned, the logistics, right? Getting them back and forth
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
having them be elsewhere instead of at home. It
Yeah.
sounds like a lot of factors to consider.
Yeah. Yeah. So it all just, and losing kind of some of the flexibility of my backup with my parents. And so I started thinking about the au pair program again, and decided to go forward with it at that point. And then, of course, it's worked out really well, and just where we're at with the boys and starting public school and a little bit of flexibility and support we need, that decided to continue.
Wonderful. Okay, I have one last question
Mhm.
for
Yeah.
you. If you had to describe your experience hosting an au pair in just one word, what would it be?
Amazing comes to mind, but it doesn't get the heartfelt piece that I want. Connection, maybe connection is just the
I love
word.
it. I'll give you two. Amazing
Okay, give me
connection.
the amazing and connection. Great.
Well, Jenny, thank you so much for your time and your support and your story. We just so appreciate you sharing. Thanks again for being a great host, Mom.
Great, thanks. Love it. Appreciate it.